In 1973, Sadat did the job. They broke the Bar-Lev line. They crossed that Red Sea. They broke the Bar-Lev line. And America came in direct intervention. That Khabis from there. Direct intervention. With his men and material, he poured in, direct into the battlefield. So every time now we are fighting the Jews, remember this, that we are not fighting him, we are fighting the Americans. Now how you can fight the Americans? That weak that we are. I'll show you how. You see, Harry Truman, the deceased President of the United States, in 1948, he divulged a secret of how you can beat the American. He's telling you, but we don't catch. In 1948, Israel declared her independence. Within 2 minutes, Truman recognized Israel. Within 2 minutes, as if he was standing with open mouth, ready like the young man once you're getting married. We say in our language, nikah kabul ki. He says, you accept that woman as your wife. He says, ki means yes. Like that, he's just saying, yeah. When you want to get married, how the guy's waiting, the young fellow, so you accept her? Say, yeah. That guy was waiting with his open mouth, who? Truman, to say he accepts her as his bride. Who? Israel. So a reporter subsequently, at a press conference, asking him, he said, look man, what was all the hurry for? 2 minutes. That means this guy just says, we are declaring independence, and by the time the voice reaches there, he said, we accept. What was all the hurry? There are 100 million Arabs. They'll be offended with you. So Truman said, there are no Arabs in my constituency. In other words, the people who voted me into power are the Jews. There are 6 million Jews in America. And through the Jewish vote, without the help of the Jewish vote, you can't make a headway. While I was in these Arab countries, the Gulf states, the Daily Gulf Times dated March 14, last month, 14. There's 1 month and 1 day ago, one day short of a month, 14th of March. Here is a cartoon in this Gulf Times newspaper. It shows a would-be president of the United States. He is marching to the presidential chair, the White House, and he has to pass through a maze of the Star of David. Beautifully portrayed. But now, what do you learn from that? That means no American president can ever become the president of the United States without Jewish support. Without going through the Jewish maze of the Jewish Star of David, nobody can become a president in the United States. You need Jewish help. The en bloc, 6 million votes. Right. So now to neutralize that, we need 6 million Muslims there, no? And you can't get them in. They won't allow any more Pakistanis, no more Arabs, no more Bangladeshis. No more. Under some special circumstances, one here, one there, half a dozen swallows don't make a summer. We want 6 million. How can you get 6 million in there? Impossible. But for the price of an AVAC, for the price of a fighter plane, you can win over, you can change, and you can convert 6 million Negroes to Islam. One fighter plane. Cheap, I tell you, it's cheap. I can't understand, why can't you think? That money, what you need for one fighter plane, that amount of money you spend in propagation, Allah will be happy with you and you can solve your problem. Because if you got 6 million votes to nullify, neutralize the Jewish vote, the Americans will say, look, you Jews fight it out with the Arabs. We don't want to come in between. It's now a private matter between you and them. And immediately the Jew will come down on his knees. Because without American support, it can't last for a day. That nation can't last for a day. It's living on beggary, charity of the Americans. Billions of our money is being poured in, our money lying in America. I'm talking about our Arabs, brothers. Billions are lying there, and they're lending it to the Jews at a lower rate of interest, and they're lending it back to the Western nations at a higher rate of interest. With your money, they're making money, and with your money, they're shooting you. Look, I said, put on your thinking caps, man. The guy said, look, you had the right answer. The right answer, Truman told you. Said, look, no Jews in my constituency. Put them in. Put Muslims in his constituency. How? Change them, convert them, and Allah will be happy with you. This is your awal fard. You are doing that, and you're solving your problem without shooting. So I said, open a second front, and there is hope. I feel there is hope. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verses 23 to 25, and I end with that. It says, in that day, time is coming. This is I'm reading now from the Christian Bible. In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. There will be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Assyria is of old, according to what Isaiah, if he had seen it in his vision, Assyria is Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, all that. Assyria. From Egypt unto Assyria. And the Assyrians shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptians into Assyria. And the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. Serve, thinking militarily together. I opened the Jewish Bible, and there it says worship. Serve means serving God, not militarily in the field. Serve means they will worship together, means there will be one faith. They will be people of one faith. Egyptians and Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt. With one third, they'll be all united, one people. And with Assyria, even in the midst of the land, whom the Lord of hosts shall bless. God Almighty will bless, saying, blessed be Egypt, my people. Blessed. The first time God Almighty is talking good things about Egypt. Otherwise, the whoredoms of Egypt, the idolatries of Egypt, the plagues of Egypt. Every time Egypt is spoken of is in all filthy, dirty way. In the Bible. Here, for the first time, God Almighty says, blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, my inheritance. That they will be, inshallah, one people under the banner of Islam. May Allah Bari Ta'ala give us this, that we may take up this barrage, these challenges, and in our own little way, show the people the Quran. The Jew, show him the Quran. How Allah Bari Ta'ala speaks about them. Ya Bani Israel askuru ni'mati allati an'amtu alaykum. And you see them falling on their backs. They can't believe it, that this is the book of an enemy talking so lovely to them. Can Muhammad speak like that? No. This is Allah talking. And there is a plan. In his plan, I said, destruction is not the outcome. But we are going to get this punishment. Again and again, we need a beating because we are not purified yet. Our motives are not purified yet. We need a beating. And they also need purification. Both. But once we accept Islam, as it happened in the past in the time of our Nabi, the Aus and the Khazraj, they became one people under the banner of Islam. The same thing Allah can save us. Hold the Quran. Offer them the Quran. To the Jew, to the Christian, to the atheist, to the agnostic. Offer the Quran and create a bond, the rope of Allah, that we become one people. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Brothers and sisters, Brother Ahmed Deedat mentioned earlier this evening that when the heart is dead, then the body is dead. There are other people who argue that when the brain is dead, then the body is dead. It's recognized in South Africa, you're only dead once you have a certificate to say that you are dead. We say thank you very much to Brother Ahmed for what I believe to be a very interesting presentation of the subject. For those who may not have timed him, he was on his feet for 1 hour and 35 minutes, and I'm sure he can go on. At his age of 66, I think he can be thankful that Allah has blessed him with wonderful energy. May that energy last for many, many years, inshallah. Before we come to the question time, if there are any, let me just remind you that we have on the stage here translations of the Holy Quran. The normal selling price is 10 rands each, 15 rands for two. The special price is 7 rands 50 per copy, or 10 rands each, or 10 rands for two. Sorry, I repeat what I said the other night. Buy these Qurans. Don't buy 2, buy 4, buy 6, and give it to people as a gift for their birthdays and for their weddings. Give it to the Muslims, give it to the non-Muslims to read. When you think in terms of wedding gifts, you never know what to buy. And when you buy it, they say, I've got 10 Pyrex dishes. Give them 10 Qurans. Give them only Qurans. They can't keep all those Qurans in their home. They'll be forced to give it away. They are spreading the message. They are then serving the purpose and performing the duty that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him to perform when he spoke at the last khutbah. For those of us who cannot afford to buy the Quran, please write to the Islamic Propagation Center, Box 2439, Durban.